moments. You get the emotional subtext of the scene you're in, so that you just have to process very, very quickly. And you've got the freedom to go back and redo it if time allows. So it's not as it's frequently not as organic feeling for the actor as, say, doing something on stage where you get to rehearse for weeks and weeks and weeks, or even film where you get to rehearse a day or so in advance. But it's very satisfying because it's a very different set of tools that you use in conjunction with the bag of tricks you would use in those other areas, stage. So it's a very different kind of acting, and I think it's very challenging, and I think all the more rewarding when you get it right. So yeah, that's what happens. We get a script, go, oh, I'm saying this today, okay, let's go. Like it's boom, like right out of the gate. So yeah, it's tough. It is tough. It's very tough. Yes.
Okay, my friend Lizzie, her mom disapproves of anime, so she couldn't be here today. So could you say hello to her in your France accent and laugh at the end?
Okay, Lizzie? Hello, Lizzie, I'm so sorry you couldn't be here, but laughing afterwards make it sound like, oh, sucks to be you, Lizzie. Poor Lizzie.
Hi, yes. My friend Ashley's boyfriend couldn't be here, so if you could, can you, in your Sebastian's voice, tell him how disappointed you are and ask him if he can come over and have tea with the young master?
Now, that's so complicated. What name? What's the name?
Dylan.
Dylan?
Uh-huh.
All right. Well, Dylan, I have to say I'm rather disappointed that you're not here, but we shall have to remedy that at some point. I'll have the tea waiting for you, but not forever. I don't understand why that's hot. There won't be tea. You get that, right? There won't.
Hi, I'm Madison. Can you say what your favorite Italian line is out of the whole show and try to do it in the voice?
Oh God, again with the favorites questions. Everyone asks me my favorite. It's so hard to pick favorites. And let me explain why too, because I'm not trying to diss your question. It's a good question, and everyone has their favorites. But I'm an old man. I'm very suspicious of the favorites game, he says while wearing rabbit ears. I occasionally will remember, oh yeah, I'm wearing this ridiculous thing on my head. It's difficult when you're as emotionally invested in something as I tend to get because I'm a little psychotic. The characters I play tend to become a permanent feature in my psyche. So they're always there, and they're on free rotation, so they come out in the car when I'm alone, and I talk to them, and they argue with me. If I were to tell you, oh, this is my favorite character, this is my favorite line, I swear to God, I would go back to my hotel room later tonight, and there'd be like 18 characters going, you're a bastard. We're not talking to you for a few weeks. But as far as, I think one of my favorite lines, I have to go, if I had to pick a favorite, and I want to give you something, because you're kind enough to ask. My favorite line that I can think of off the top of my head, friends, don't be mad at me, I know there are many favorites, is the line of, look at that face, so handsome, I want to lick it. Again, because of the response it gets. Alright, we have another clip. Where did he go? Oh, I was like, where'd he go? He left me. Hello.
Hello. Can you say, you make my kokoro go doki doki in France's voice?
I'll be honest with you, I don't think I can. Oh my God, scream them, will you? No, what is it again? Say it again. You make my kokoro go doki doki. Oh. Did I say it right? Did I say it right? Oh, good. You can't tell because it's French accent. It's like, I have no idea what you said, so yay! Hello?
Hello. What's the first character you ever...
Oh.
And was it Soldier A?
The first character I ever voiced, and what was the second part? I'm sorry.
Was it Soldier A?
No. Soldier 8 was like the fourth thing I ever did. The first thing I ever did was Rikichi in the show Samurai 7. Any fans of Samurai 7? Wow, everyone's like, yeah! I'm like, okay, we're on a roller coaster all of a sudden. True story, Rikichi was how I got into the business. Let me tell the story of how I got into business, because it's kind of funny and kind of interesting, and I don't mean it to be inspiring, because no one should follow in my footsteps. This is not how to get in the business. This is not, well, just wait 28 years until someone tricks you into it. It's kind of what happened. I had been an actor when I was a kid. I was on stage all the time. from like 6, 7, 8, I just did stage all the time, and then I kind of got out of it once I got in my 20s because, you know, life got in the way and had other plans, and I thought, well, I'm not gonna be an actor anymore. And I missed it, but I just thought it's one of those dreams you tend to grow out of when you know it's time to pick colleges. And luckily it found me again. Much later, I was in a whole other career and happened to know Chris Bevins, a director, writer, and voice actor for Funimation. Very dear friend of mine. We're kind of comic book nerds together, just how we bonded. I know, hot, right? He reads comic books? Oh my god. So Bevins and I were good friends, and I knew what he did for a living, and I thought it was really cool, because I've always been an anime fan. But I never had any designs. I'll be like, well, you know my voices. I just had, you know, acting was a dream I'd long given up on, so I just didn't even conceive of myself as being an actor anymore. Bevins, when he started working on Samurai 7, decided to call me out of the blue one day and said, hey, you know, I've got this character, and a really, you know, named Rikichi, who's really pivotal to the show's heart, and I want you to take a stab at voicing him. And I'm like, oh my god, seriously? No. Because the idea was terrifying. I'm like, I've only ever done stage stuff. I have no mic technique. I have no idea what to do. And dubbing, my god, I would suck. It would be a waste of our time. You're very sweet to ask, but I must regretfully decline. So Bevins called me the next day and said, hey, so I've got this show I'm working on. And proceeded to act like we didn't have the conversation we did the day prior. And this went on for 2 weeks of me coming up with the lamest excuses of why I could not go in. Like, oh, I have a flat. Or I've got to, you know, strain cabbage or wash my dog. Something. And he kept finally, and Bevins was a very laid back, very sweet man. Suddenly wasn't so much anymore. And he suddenly became very scary mobster Bevins, who's like, okay, you're gonna come in, either under your own volition or I'm gonna knock you out with a tire iron, throw you in my trunk, and hold you at gunpoint until you do the audition. So you can kick and scream all you want, but it's happening. So I came in, and it was a 4-hour-long audition where we're actually matching mouth movements, what we call flaps in the industry, because it's easier to say than mouth movements, ironically enough. And, you know, it was 4 hours, I'm sweating bullets in this booth, just shaking, freaking out, and trying to get there. And again, like I was telling you earlier, about having to just read everything on the fly and be like, okay, all right, almost, get it one more time, stress this word, do this is the emotional subtext, and go. And I'm like, and I thought I was completely blowing it. In fact, I was hoping I was blowing it because I never wanted to do this again. I could not imagine doing this for a living. I thought this is far too grueling, this is far beyond my skill set. Oh my god, I just want to get out of this booth, laugh, and never speak of it again. And indeed, after 4 hours, which I thought, my god, 4 hours, got out of the booth, signed what I thought were NDAs. Important plot point, that. And I kind of glibly said to Bevins, who's kind of just looking at me like, that was exhausting, wasn't it? I'm like, yes, it is. Can I ask you a question? I said, how the hell do you people get anything done if it takes you 4 hours to audition every single person that comes in? And he's like, oh my god, no, it doesn't take 4 hours, it took us 10 minutes. We've actually been recording the first 6 episodes and you just signed a contract, so you're now an actor and you're playing Rikichi, you got your next Sunday. Oh, you son of a... And that is how I became an actor, and that is my first voice role was Rikichi, who will always be very close to my heart, because that was kind of how I learned to be a voice actor, as I said. Thanks. Spoilers! Maybe he did, you don't know. Did you watch past the credits? I'm kidding. But thank you, I hope that answered your question. I'm not even sure what the question was anymore. See how I go on? Hello!
Hello. Can you tell us your favorite anti-British joke in your France voice?
My favorite anti-British joke?